Assalamu alaikum. Today on Neuron Academy, we're going to explore a powerful lesson in integrity inspired by the spirit of Islamic history. It's a story, a parable, really, about a craftsman whose work teaches us so much about excellence, trust, and what barakah or blessing truly means. If you benefit, please support by subscribing and sharing as a sadaqah.
You know, when we look back at the golden era of Islam, it's so easy to just focus on the amazing inventions and the brilliant minds. But what was really driving all that progress? This quote, right here, it really gets to the heart of it. It wasn't just about what could be made, but about how it should be made. The whole culture was built on this deep, profound sense of accountability. And today's story is about one man who absolutely embodied that spirit. So, let's dive into our story and meet the man at the center of it all. His name was Ilyas, and his story, well, it doesn't start with some huge, brilliant discovery. It starts with a quiet, very deliberate choice he made about the kind of person he wanted to become.
See, Ilyas wasn't born into some prestigious workshop or a wealthy family. He started out just like so many others, as an apprentice. But here's where he took a different path. While everyone else seemed to be chasing quick fame, maybe copying old designs to get noticed, Ilyas, he chose the slow road, the hard road. He poured himself into the fundamentals, studying measurements, observing the skies, really learning. He understood that you can't rush real knowledge. It has to be earned, bit by bit, through patience and hard work.
And this really gets to the core of why he did it. His motivation wasn't about getting praise from his master or impressing future clients. No, it was all rooted in this beautiful concept of ihsan, excellence. You see, ihsan is this principle of perfecting your work because you have this deep awareness that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching, always. It turns a simple job, any job, into a profound act of worship.
So, after years of this quiet, dedicated work, Ilyas creates this incredible navigation instrument. It's more accurate than anything else out there. And of course, demand just skyrockets. But right there, with all that success, comes his first huge test. And it wasn't a test of his skill, not at all. It was a test of his character.
The merchants, they come to him with an offer that's, well, it's very tempting. We want more, they say, and we want them faster and cheaper. Their logic is, pretty straightforward from a business perspective. Just cut a few corners, use slightly less expensive materials. Come on, people won't even notice. But Ilyas, he was looking at the world through a completely different lens, the prophetic way, a path that isn't defined by what people might notice, but by the constant, unwavering awareness that Allah is ever watchful.
And his response, wow, it just reveals everything about him. He doesn't just say no, he explains why with this incredibly powerful line. He saw his work as a profound responsibility, an amanah, a sacred trust. To him, a single mistake wasn't just a bad review or a return. It was a moral failure. And any profit he'd make from something that was compromised, that money wouldn't be a blessing. It would be a witness against him on the day of judgment. Think about that.
Now, sticking to your principles like that, it almost always comes with a cost, right? Especially at first. And Ilyas's decision definitely led him down a path that was going to require a whole lot of patience. But as we're about to see, that path led to a reward so much greater than just quick profit. So let's walk through what happened next. First, he stood his ground, absolutely refused to compromise on quality. And yeah, as a direct result, he lost some business. Those impatient clients, they went elsewhere for the cheaper, faster options. And I imagine that was a really tough time for him. But then, something amazing started to happen. As his instruments proved themselves over and over to be perfectly reliable, his reputation for integrity just grew and grew. He earned something you just can't buy, unwavering trust. And that is what leads to true, lasting barakah, that divine blessing that brings so much goodness and abundance into your life and work.
And really, the ultimate result of his patience is captured in this one simple phrase. His name itself became the guarantee. The very same merchants who once tried to get him to cut corners were now using his name as the gold standard of quality. It became, if Ilyas made it, we rely on it. I mean, what a powerful testament to his principles, right?
But the story doesn't stop there, with just his personal success. Because as demand for his work kept growing, he faced a completely new kind of challenge. How do you grow your work? How do you expand without watering down the very values that made it special in the first place? This was about more than just a business. This is about building a legacy.
And this is where he faces what might have been his greatest test of all. Right when his workshop is thriving, a very, very powerful buyer comes to him with an offer that promises just immense wealth and recognition. But there was a catch. He'd have to sign an exclusive contract, he'd have to restrict access to his life-saving instruments and his knowledge for everyone else.
And Ilyas refused. His reasoning, which we know about from his personal journal, just shows you the incredible depth of his character. He believed knowledge was a gift, something meant to serve all of humanity, not to be locked away as a tool for the rich and powerful. To do that would betray the entire purpose of knowledge. He got it. True value is in the benefit it brings to the many, not the profit it brings to a few.
So, at the end of the day, Ilyas never became some world-famous name. He didn't die with a giant fortune. But his legacy was so much deeper. You could find it in the safe journeys of countless travelers, in the complete confidence of merchants who used his tools, and in the apprentices he trained to uphold those exact same standards. His real legacy was that quiet, enduring reliability, born from a lifetime of absolute integrity.
And that's what brings the lesson of this whole story right back to us, here and now, in our own lives. Because we all have skills, we all have talents that can become valuable. So the question his story leaves us with is a really personal one. When you get to that point, when your skills are in demand, what's your guiding principle going to be? Are you going to optimize for speed and profit, or for accuracy and amanah, for trust? Because in the end, true builders don't just ask how fast they can grow. They ask, how safely can others rely on what I've built? Presented and created by Neuron Studio.